Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Neda Irampour. Here at CBS 8, we are working for you. We're listening to your concerns, investigating your questions, and finding solutions that matter in our community. We begin with controversial changes to a major thoroughfare in San Diego's Clairemont neighborhood. You may have driven through this. Many residents, cyclists, and now a nearby school speaking out over Clairemont Drive. Many people we spoke with are frustrated with new road striping that reduced traffic lanes and then added more bike lanes. Here's CBS 8's Steffi Roche. She's been working for you on this story since June and looked into why a school is now pushing back.
Today I spoke with parents and the principal of Marston Middle School who tell me that the restriping of Clairemont Drive came as a shock to them. Tonight I'm working for you and talking to the school about why they feel that this is creating a traffic mess during pickup and drop-off. What was once 2 lanes in each direction on Clairemont Drive is now just 1 each way after the road was restriped as part of the city's Pure Water project.
People are dropping off way far away because they cannot see with a single lane that there are open spots.
This video, recorded by Marston Middle School principal Jonathan Golias, shows the morning drop-off rush. Right when we arrived at Marston Middle School's drop-off Tuesday, we witnessed a fender bender right in front of the school.
We see daily all the traffic that's been pushed back there that doesn't have the safety features that you have out on a busy street. We see near misses of kids getting, hit.
The restriping also added bike lanes and relocated street parking to the outside of the traffic lanes, creating a buffer between moving cars and cyclists.
They're trying to avoid what's going on in the front here.
Since the beginning of the school year, Golias says he met with the city to discuss safety, but tells me he does not feel the city is addressing his or parents' concerns. Golias also says the school was never notified about the restriping plans.
The city has not communicated with any of our school staff about these changes. We knew that there would be repaving over the summer. We didn't know about any striping changes.
A city spokesperson tells me in part, quote, "We have listened and agreed to almost all recommendations to modify the area with extended left turn lanes and an expansion of dedicated pickup drop-off area with 16 additional time-limited floating parking spaces." But Golias says that the recommendations the city did approve don't align with what he believes are the school's top priorities.
All we need to do is connect that bike lane that's floated right there, move it down 300 feet, remove the floating parking, and we tremendously improve safety for our school.
Meanwhile, Tuesday, the city confirmed that they never directly notified the school about the restriping of Clairemont Drive via email or flyers, but that the Pure Water project has been in the works for years and has been presented to the community since 2019. For now, reporting in Clairemont, I'm Steffi Roche, CBS 8.
We now have a major update to a story we've been following exclusively for weeks. Sheriff's deputies now investigating that pet cremation business that shut its doors without warning, despite still having the bodies or remains of more than 100 animals inside. Because of our reporting, another pet cremation business stepped in, offering to help Angel Paws customers. But what they're finding out is extremely disturbing. CBS 8's Steve Price, who's been following this story from the beginning, has the latest details.
With help from sheriff's deputies, more than a dozen Angel Paws customers finally have their actual pets back. And they brought them here to Sereno Valley Pet Cemetery, where they were properly cremated and the remains returned.
The owner knew he couldn't service these pets. He knew he couldn't cremate them and was still receiving the pets.
Jerry Wellman is Sereno Valley Pet Cemetery's general manager. He's disappointed in Angel Paws owner Chris Settle because he feels he's giving the whole industry a bad name. The San Diego Sheriff's Office confirms it is now investigating Angel Paws for possible fraud.
There is cruelty to these animals and there's fraud to the people, and it just should not happen like that.
Wellman says one Angel Paws customers brought him a sheep that had apparently been lying on the floor unrefrigerated for several months.
It was terrible, the odor that was coming out from the body of the sheep. The owner knows it's his because of some markings. We received it, cremated it immediately because we just couldn't allow it to be here without cremation.
Angel Paws is in the process of being evicted, and multiple people who have been inside say it's extremely disorganized. Well, over 100 pets in freezers, many not labeled, so it's hard to tell who is whom. Which brings us to Delilah. Her owners picked up her frozen remains at Angel Paws last week, but after defrosting, realized it wasn't their dog. Sereno Valley cremated the remains and gave us this picture with some identifying marks. They say it's a male pit bull mix around 10 to 12 years old.
Hopefully someone comes forward and says, I have a pet that looks like this, and we'll put them together right away.
Steve Price, CBS 8.
And now, with help from the Sheriff's Department, more than a dozen of their customers got some help. The landlord tells us he hopes to get the space back soon. He says he plans to check the freezers and then email customers about any pets that are still inside. If your pet is there, he's asking you to reach out. We posted his email address on the web version of this story. Just go to the link at cbs8.com. You'll see it there. We do have an update now on a story we've been following out of La Mesa. People have been asking what's going on with an abandoned gas station. Yeah, look at this. It's been sitting empty for years. CBS 8's Alex Lai went back to La Mesa to check on that location to see what's changed and what hasn't.
1 year ago, I did a story on this old gas and smog station and discovered there were plans for it to become a Qdoba. But today, it's still here and in worse condition. So we're working for you to find out if those plans are still in place. Boarded windows, peeling paint, and scattered litter cover the abandoned lot at Jackson and Parkway Drive. And just like last year, people still call it an eyesore.
That smog station's just kind of been there, but it's been boarded up. Some people hanging around there, some people park trucks there, but nothing seems to be happening with it at all. It just exists and is boarded up. It wastes space. There are signs of what it used to be, but still none of what it will become.
Cruddier every year, like just cruddier, and it's been there.
So what's the holdup? Last year, the city of La Mesa told me design plans for a Qdoba were submitted for processing. Today, the city says the project is progressing, and the project design was ratified at the August 12th City Council meeting. I found the plans for the project on the city's website. La Mesa tells me the applicant, Cali Queso Corporation, has since submitted grading plans, which are currently under review. Building plans have not yet been submitted, and there is currently no timeline for the project.
Qdoba's interesting because you've got Chipotle over there. There's another Chipotle up there on Navajo. So it would be okay, but it seems like a weird location for it.
I think anything related to food is a good fit, but something nice to get rid of the eyesore, I guess you can say. As for Qdoba, last year a spokesperson told me they expected the La Mesa location to open in 2026. I reached out again today for an updated timeline, but haven't heard back. Working for you in La Mesa, Alex Lai, CBS 8.
We'll keep our eyes open for that Qdoba. Still ahead, a cockroach infestation at an East County apartment complex. We're working for you, getting answers as to what rights the tenants there have. Plus, people in Lakeside say their quiet street has become a dumping ground. We're going to show you what's going on and how to take action. Welcome back here, just off of Highway 67 in Lakeside, a scenic, quiet road, now turning into a mess. Neighbors say it's become an unofficial dumping ground for trash, like furniture, even abandoned cars, as you see. Look at all this. They're tired of it and they want action. CBS 8's Brian White working for you from Lakeside.
This is San Vicente Avenue in Lakeside, a dirt road just off Highway 67. And lately, it's become a magnet for illegal dumping.
The RV I saw about 3 or 4 weeks ago sitting here. There was another one just about a month before that.
From abandoned RVs to old mattresses and broken furniture, neighbors say this stretch has become a dumping ground for those looking to avoid landfill fees.
And instead of taking it, obviously to the landfill, they're just dumping things here, and then they're saving the money on the disposal fees. And it just is creating a nonstop nuisance for our neighborhood.
It's an isolated road in an unincorporated part of San Diego County, and with homes spaced far apart, neighbors say people come under the cover of night to dump what they don't want.
It lowers our property values sitting out here in the country, and people just come out and dump their trash.
Okay, well, it's maybe a safety and health hazard both, but it's just, you know, it looks terrible.
CHP recently towed away the RV, but people like Joel Jackson living nearby say it's an ongoing problem and they're the ones left cleaning up the mess.
It's been going on for a long time, and we try to keep it clean as all of our neighbors, and it just keeps happening over and over and over.
As for what can be done about the trash, I reached out to the County of San Diego. They say people here in this unincorporated area can report dumped items directly to code compliance using the Tell Us Now app. When I tried it myself, I was able to submit a report right from the roadside.
And that was Brian Wright reporting. California Attorney General Rob Bonta wants to hear from renters who may have been harmed by their landlords. He is urging people to share their experiences as the state looks to crack down on those who exploit California tenants.
Across California, you have the right to live in a safe home, regardless of how much money you have, what language you speak, or where you may be from.
This plea from Bonta comes after the California Department of Justice sued Mike Nijar, one of the state's biggest landlords. The state claims that Nijar and his family's group of property management and real estate companies subjected tenants to unsafe living conditions like insect and rodent infestations, leaking roofs, and overflowing sewage. The state DOJ hoping to gather accounts to strengthen its case and protect vulnerable Californians. Experiences can be reported online in both English and Spanish. Tenants of an El Cajon apartment complex tell us they are dealing with an extreme cockroach infestation. Look at those bugs. Our David Godfreyson working for you. He talked to an expert with a local fair housing group about what tenants can do if the landlord refuses to get rid of these bugs.
Oh, I got sick to my stomach because I can't imagine that anyone would be living there.
Longtime tenant Alicia Davis couldn't believe her eyes when she saw this video posted last week on Nextdoor. A roach-infested apartment in the same building as hers at the Artesia apartment complex in El Cajon.
Cockroaches literally everywhere, like covering the floors, covering the walls, crawling outside. And that unit is right next door to the manager's office.
Alicia says she complained to the property manager years ago about roaches in her own apartment.
They've just continued to tell me, you're the only one complaining, you're the only one who has them. Our apartments are filled with children, and it's like a health concern, and yeah, it's disgusting.
I decided to check it out for myself. The apartment is now sealed up with tape around the edges of the windows and a towel underneath the door. That's when the property manager came out.
I work at Channel 8 News. I'm a reporter. Okay. Doing a story about this roach infestation next door.
The office is closed today.
The manager did not want to speak on camera and told me she would answer my questions by phone.
Well, some neighbors were complaining about the roaches next door.
When it's business hours, I'll be more than happy to answer any phone calls. As you can see, I am not ready for any interview.
I emailed and left voice messages, but did not receive a response.
They should document everything. That includes through photos and video.
Working for you, I reached out to the fair housing agency responsible for El Cajon. Georgie Barra with CSA San Diego County says the first thing tenants need to do is give the landlord written notice of any pest infestation. The landlord then has 30 days to correct the problem.
If and after the landlord does not address the issue within the 30-day window, they have the right to contact a professional certified pest control company to come and rectify the issue.
And under California law, the tenant then has the right to deduct those pest control expenses from the next month's rent. You also need to give your landlord the invoice from the pest control company so you can prove what you paid to get rid of those bugs. And if your landlord gives you any grief, reach out to the fair housing agency in your area. They can help mediate the conflict. In El Cajon, David Godfreyson, CBS 8.
I know that video tough to see. Imagine living in that. Thank you, David. Coming up here, when is the right time to start letting your child stay home alone? Our Shannon Handy working for you on this to share how you can make the right decision. Here's a question many parents maybe are asking. At what age can you leave your kids home alone? With skyrocketing childcare costs, along with many other factors, this is a question a lot of parents have lately. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you and has an answer.
California doesn't have a law that mandates the age kids can be left home alone. Experts I spoke with say it really depends on the individual child, adding it's up to their parents to make sure they're prepared.
I have a 7 and a 9-year-old.
Just recently, Rachel Strauss started asking herself the same question most parents will at some point. When is it okay to leave your kids home alone?
I just had this very conversation with our own pediatrician.
Rachel owns a company that helps businesses manage healthcare plans. Just like her job, she says when it comes to your kids, what works for some may not work for others.
We wish this was something that just had a given rule of thumb that we could Google, but really it's up to us to know our children and to know our comfort level.
I checked and only 14 states have specific age requirements. California isn't one of them. But parents are legally responsible for ensuring their child is not endangered. The American Academy of Pediatrics suggests kids can be left alone around age 12. Experts warn before deciding what's best for your family, make sure your kids are mature and comfortable enough being alone. If so, prepare by first setting expectations and rules, along with making sure they know who to contact in case of an emergency.
Is there a phone at home for them to use?
Shelby Gomez is Executive Director of Child Care at YMCA of San Diego. In addition to ensuring your kids' safety, she says another question parents should ask themselves is, will it be a positive experience for them?
If they're going to be at home by themselves all day long, that's a different question than if they're going to be at home for like an hour after school.
If high childcare costs are a factor in leaving your kids alone, Shelby says the YMCA does have free and low-cost after-school programs that can help, as well as options during the summer, all designed to keep your kids both safe and engaged. Regardless of the reason, all experts agree if you are considering leaving your kids alone, experiment first by leaving for short periods of time. That's what Rachel has been doing. She tells me with rules in place and security cameras she can use to monitor her kids, so far, so good.
It's a work in progress, but I do believe that when you find the ability to trust your child, give it to them. Let them earn that trust and let that 15-minute increment of time build so that you're giving them that independence as well.
Working for you, Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Coming up here, where are all the kids? We dig into a new survey that reveals San Diego is one of the most childless cities in our country. Welcome back. If you have not put up your Halloween decorations yet, listen to this. You may want to think twice before using fake spider webs outdoors. Wildlife experts say, look, they can trap and seriously injure animals like birds, bats, possums. The San Diego Humane Society says they do see an increase in entangled wildlife every October, especially when these webs are put in those trees and low brush.
These animals get the nylon fibers caught around their neck. We see a lot of toes being really injured, both in birds and bats and mammals. Those fibers get wrapped around the toe and they cut off the blood supply.
Those animals must be so confused. They don't know it's Halloween coming soon. If you do find a bird caught in fake webs, free it carefully if you can, and then you can take it to Project Wildlife. For animals that might bite or carry rabies, please contact the Humane Society. Experts also recommend skipping decorations with loops and, yes, use flameless candles. You don't want to burn anything down. San Diego ranks as the third most childless major city in America. The latest census data shows fewer kids growing up here compared to 10 years ago. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you and explains why it matters and how it could impact our community.
In 2014, U.S. Census data showed 20% of San Diego's population was under the age of 18. 10 years later, that number has changed. It's now at 17%, making San Diego the third most childless city in the country behind Seattle and San Francisco. Austin and Los Angeles round out the top 5.
This has been an issue for quite a while.
John Weeks is a distinguished professor emeritus of geography at San Diego State University, where he was the director of the International Population Center. He says the numbers don't surprise him, given how expensive it is to live in San Diego compared to a decade ago.
It's not that people don't want to have children. It is rather that, particularly in places like California, the cost of living and make it difficult to have sort of the old-fashioned married couple, one earner family and children.
Motherhood is not for everyone.
Videos about being childless by choice have been circulating on social media for years. Aside from the cost, other factors include careers, fear of climate change, or people simply not wanting kids.
Maybe you've heard the term DINK, dual income, no kids. That's one of the things that seems to be happening now among younger people.
The shrinking share of kids isn't unique to California. Nationwide, the census data found only Washington, D.C. and Orlando saw an increase in the share of children since 2014. As for where the majority of children are living, Laredo, Texas took the top spot with the largest share of children at 30%. Dr. Weeks says Laredo's location along the Mexico border is likely a big reason why.
Migrants tend to be young adults. They come and they boost the labor force, and they're also of the age to have kids.
Here in San Diego County, we found the largest share is in San Marcos, where kids make up 27% of the population. In Chula Vista, it's 24%. Dr. Weeks explained this, too, is part of a trend where if people can't afford big cities, they move to the cities around them instead.
But if you're moving out of the city of San Diego to find a cheaper place to live and maybe have kids, then you look around at the suburbs.
Dr. Weeks isn't concerned about the shift in numbers, saying while the population isn't booming, it is growing. Others, however, argue fewer kids can mean fewer amenities, such as schools and parks, which makes certain cities less attractive to families. Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.